So today we continue with the book of love, chapter 3, how to love others. And you see, just as a little bit of a refresher so that we can keep this idea of love in focus. Love, as we define it, is the state of total acceptance. It's the state of the divine where the divine views itself without judgment. It sees all that is. There is no contrast within it. Love is that state of pure connection where we actually disappear into the nothingness and the allness that is infinite, that is universal consciousness, that is the divine mind, is that which we call God. Love is that state of total acceptance. And what really came to me this morning, and it hit me like I can't tell you how it ever hit me, was this statement. Life is a constant state of falling in love. Think about that. Life is a constant state of falling in love. In every moment, accepting yourself. You're changing in every moment. So in every moment, you have the opportunity to again accept yourself. In another moment, accept yourself. So it's always falling in love. You don't fall in love and it stops. No, you're constantly falling in love. And that's the state that life creates. And we have the ability to change in any moment to experience love in ways that we've not experienced before because we are different in every moment. And it's real important to know that our level of self-love is mirrored back to us in all of our relationships. So that's why we're talking about how to love others, because if we understand this basic principle that our self-love is mirrored back to us, we then know by witnessing how we are loving others the degree to which we love ourselves. And the greater we increase our ability to love ourselves, the greater we can love others, and then that gets mirrored back to us. So we've got a constant loop of feedback. And that feedback keeps us in that state of falling deeper and deeper and deeper into love. There's nothing better than that. And you see, loving others is no different than loving ourselves. It is simply to accept people as they are. Just that simple. When I look and I look at my wife, I'm going to use her as my example. When I look at my Jean, and it's not my Jean, she's Jean. I don't own her. I sort of say my Jean because she's been my Jean all my life. She's been with me most of my life. I mean, majority of my life I have spent with my wife. And yet, every day, every moment, it's a different Jean. She's evolved. She's evolved into something more. She is not the same Jean at 20 years old. Wait a second, I met her at 19. At 19, she's not the same Jean as she is now at 68. And every day, my job is to fall deeply and deeper and deeply and deeper in love with her, meaning accept her as she is, all sides of her. What an opportunity for that. And think about that with your children. My son Stephen, my son Matthew. I remember when they were just little babies. I remember when my son Stephen was so small. He was like 6 weeks old. I remember being on the porch in Tampa, Florida on my lanai. It was a beautiful day. It was a Wednesday. I took off from work to take care of the kid. And then I'm lying there. He's on my chest. I love him deeply. Today, he's not that little boy. He's 37 years old. The other day I said, come here, let Daddy love you. And he looked at me and said, no. But I love him just as much now as I did then. I have to accept him where he is at this time. Same thing with my son Matthew. My granddaughter Claire. Oh my God. It's taken me back to really understanding I have to accept all the questions, all the mood swings, everything that a little 2 3/4-year-old girl does. And I've never experienced it before, and I'm going to tell you, my love couldn't be more pure for that little girl. Because I just accept that's where she is. It's part of the growing up process. And when someone knows that you are accepting them, they feel safe The only time we don't feel safe is when we feel judged. And when there's judgment, there's no love. I watch Claire. When she feels she's being judged, don't do that, don't be that way, don't do this. You feel, all of a sudden, you can see the body language getting a little bit more protective. You can see that with everyone. Their body language tells you, are they open to receive or are they fearful? People are only in fear with other people when they don't believe they're being accepted for who they are. You see, you got to understand that love is easiest when both parties are being authentic. When I'm truly being myself, and my son, my granddaughter, my other son, my wife are being themselves, I now can accept them. But if they're not being themselves, I'm not really accepting them, am I? I'm accepting a false illusion. And then what happens in the ego is I get disappointed when I find out that the false illusion isn't them. So when you put yourself out authentically as you are giving other people the opportunity, maybe even for the first time, to love you, to accept you. And now from there you can have a real relationship. A relationship that's based in a foundation where you have a firm foundation for love because you're being your authentic self. Here's the thing that you understand too. The more we truly love ourselves, we naturally want to share. When we really love ourselves, we want to share our love. We want to share our life. It is the most beautiful thing that when people are sharing without expecting anything in return. Here's why. Because when you truly love yourself, you realize you don't need anything from anyone. You don't need it. It's when you don't love yourself that you feel there's a void, that you're going out trying to get something from someone else. But when you truly love yourself, you just want to share love and you don't expect nothing in return. Nothing. That's the greatest feeling in the world. It's like when you're with your beautiful dog, my beautiful dog Bailey. She'll be sitting next to me on the chair. She's 75 pounds of dog, but she's sitting there. And I love myself. It's so easy to love her, expecting nothing from her. Because most of the time, she's not going to give you nothing. She's a real independent dog. But you see, it's just natural for me to share. That's one of the ways that I know when I'm self-loving is I love to share. It's easy to share, no matter who I'm with. And that's real important. Love means to accept. We talk about that over and over at Agape. It does not mean to like or have lust for someone. Do you see? We have confused that. We have really confused that idea that love and attraction, we've confused that. We've confused love and attraction. And we've determined that love includes acceptance, liking, and romance. No, that's not the case. There's three separate things. I can accept someone as they are and not like them. I can accept someone and like them as they are and not feel romantic interest in them. I can accept someone and not like them and not feel the need to be romantic with them. I can feel romantic for someone and not feel the need, not accept them. I can like someone and not accept them. Are you hearing me with me? They're separate things. The beauty is, and what attracts us to an individual, to have a deeper relationship, at least that's what we call a life partnership or romantic as one, is when you've got acceptance, like, and romance at the same time. But for me, that wasn't the case when I started my relationship. It was I liked her, and I felt that romantic urge. It wasn't until later on that I really understood that life is the constant opportunity to love someone. Every day, I fall deeper in love with Jean. I like her. I still feel romantic to her, but I accept her now more than I ever have accepted her before. You see, the infinite, that which we call universal mind, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, it accepts us, and there's nothing else to it. It does not judge us. It doesn't compare against anything. It only judges us when we create the image of it as Santa Claus. Humans have created this image that this divine anthropomorphic God judges us. God doesn't need us to worship it. Think about that. How small would the infinite be if it needed us to worship it? And let me really bring that into clarity. What does the word worship really mean? It doesn't mean get down on your knees and praise. No, worship means to study. So to worship God is the study of God. It's the study of universal mind. It's the study of the infinite. It's the study of it to use with practical tools to find the way to connect back with it. And that's the impulse that's within all of us. We're all seeking to find that connection. You see, one of the things that I've really come to understand is that we have confused loving someone with having a specific type of relationship with them. And you know, love is one thing, being in relationship is another. And we could spend days upon days about what does it mean to be in relationship. But to be in love with another is simply to accept them as they are. But we take love and we make it the basis and say that relationship is based on it, therefore the relationship should be based on love. No, relationships are what we determine them to be, and it has to be a mutual determination. And I'm not going to go really deep into that. That's going to be a whole other series coming. Relationships and love are not the same thing. They're separate. They can be a part of each other, but they don't necessarily have to be a part of each other. You see, loving others is to observe them and accept them as they are. And we can only do that to the degree that we love ourselves. That's why relationships mirror back to us. And so people are saying to me, Lee, what is the purpose of life? What is my purpose? I believe our purpose is to create and experience a life of love and fulfillment. And it is through loving ourselves and others that we do this best. How we love ourselves and then expand and love others gives us an experience of fulfillment, of love, that gives life its juice. And life is good when it's juicy. So today I invite you to love yourself more than you ever have. Accept yourself. Go in the mirror, look at yourself, and accept all of you as you are. And then when you see other people, accept them too. Be the light, because the light in this world today is a light of love, and you can choose to be that.